Welcome to the show. We got a great one lined up here, ladies and gentlemen. But listen, half the internet goes down, AWS and Coinbase and so many others. We got that. And could the U.S. government shutdown turn out to be the crypto catalyst? 20 trillion says yes. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.85 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 2.4. Bitcoin is now 110,800 plus. Ethereum 4,000 plus. And we see XRP still at the number 5 spot at 245. We're up 3.2 on the 24, and we're off 6.4 on the 7-day. Now, we know we've been experiencing a bloodbath in crypto and honestly across all the markets because of trade wars and other factors. But the reality is that all of this, I believe, will come to an end when we get out of this government shutdown. But let's take a look at this ranging between 236 and 249. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we are. Now, let's start with this. We need to know about it. Europol just dismantled a sim farm for hire. Now, I'm going to mute this while it plays. There's nothing really that you need to see or hear in the clip while it plays. But they just dismantled a sim farm for hire platform that powered 49 million fake accounts used for global fraud. This is astounding. The information is staggering. And I got to be honest, I mean, shout out to Europol for dismantling this. How many more of these are out here around the world? And I know we're all smart enough to know they're out here. But this is a reminder that you want to stay safe. And you can stay safe in one of these places I keep my assets is iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. Use the code at the bottom, XRP6. Look, the reason I'm sharing this information with you is because I know that not only are they shutting down these things and trying to find all these bad actors around the world here, but we even had an XRP community member lose $3 million of his hard-earned money for his retirement for him and his wife. And that was done on a self-storage. He thought he was on a cold storage wallet of the company he was working with, but he was on hot side, and he ended up getting hacked. But you know what? Here's the thing. iTrustCapital not only has the best IRAs, crypto, gold, silver, but they also have the PCA account, which is a non-IRA custody account. But you get institutional grade just the same way that your IRA does. And it's a closed loop system. So God forbid if one of those 49 million fake accounts were to hack you through your phone on your end that you're responsible for, the worst thing that could happen is that the money would be cashed out to your U.S. checking account because you can't come out with crypto and send it to 100 exchanges and then you never find the money again. But you can take your assets and put them in and your crypto or cash. But when it comes out, it must come out only as cash. And it can only be sent one place, even if you're hacked. And that's to your U.S. checking account. So there you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. Let's get the peace of mind that you deserve. Click the link underneath the video and get started today. Let's start right here because there was the day the internet fell over. If your app died this morning, blame the cloud, specifically Amazon's AWS, Amazon Web Services. The invisible backbone of half the internet suffered a massive global outage, taking down Snapchat, Fortnite, Facebook, Coinbase, Perplexity AI, and enough websites to make the web feel like it was 1999 again. The crash rippled worldwide. Alexa stopped listening. PlayStation went dark. Even corporate dashboards flatlined. This went on for hours. The digital economy's central nervous system just seized. Amazon says it found the root cause and is working on multiple paths to accelerate recovery. Translation: engineers are sprinting through server farms, praying the lights come back on. AWS isn't just a cloud, it's the scaffolding of modern life. When it breaks, the world's apps, stores, games, and money all hang in the same digital void. Today's outage is a reminder the internet isn't decentralized. And I tell you, it's another reminder here is that we are moving to a decentralized world. And it's important to understand that because Coinbase, along with many others, were affected deeply. And Coinbase says they're working to restore access and that all funds are safe on the platform. I think largely that this is a call to action to move to the internet of value. We can't have the world in the internet of information sabotaged by one bottleneck of AWS experiencing issues, whether it be from an attack or otherwise. This here is a call to action to ignite the internet of value. I tell you this, and Vet really taps on it here. Despite AWS having issues, the XRP ledger is closing blocks normally. That's the hard work of decentralization, especially geographical and hosting wise. Though he does also believe we can do much better and increase resilience with amendments like XLS50 is important for this transparency to drive action, aiming for a healthy distribution of validator infrastructure. So there you have that. See, this is a call to action to ignite the internet of value, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. And meanwhile, this week, we should find out if the SEC, despite the government shutdown, will press the approval button. We are already past the October 18th and 19th deadline for Grayscale ETF for XRP and 21 shares core XRP Trust. So on the 20th, will we hear for all three of these and Bitwise included, or will we continue to hear radio silence from the SEC and the U.S. government because of the shutdown? And here we see, even though we're in a shutdown, the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank, not a branch of the government, will host its Payments and Digital Asset Innovation Conference tomorrow while the government is shut down. They're going to host a conference on payments and digital asset innovation. Isn't that interesting? Oh, I'm not done with you yet. The Federal Reserve, as Mario Nawfal says, to talk crypto and AI at Payments Innovation Summit. The Federal Reserve is hosting a high-profile conference in October 22nd tomorrow, and it will bring together some of the biggest names in crypto, and here are some of them. Ripple's not on this one, but they're getting ready to be on the next one that I'm going to show you here. So this is for the Fed, and they're going to have many people of note, as you can see here, obviously. I'm not going to name them all, but you can see from the digital asset side, you're going to have ARK Invest, Kathy Wood, and Coinbase CFO. Stripe will be there, as well as many others, right? BlackRock is going to have representation there. But let's keep going, because while the Fed is having a conference, well, guess who else is? These crypto C-suits are expected to attend a roundtable with pro-crypto Senate Democrats on Wednesday to discuss market structure legislation and the path forward while the government is shut down. Coinbase CEO, Chainlink CEO, Galaxy CEO, Kraken CEO, Uniswap CEO, Solana Policy Institute President, Circle CSO, Ripple's Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati, Jito CLO, and A16 Crypto GC. Told others may be added to the list. The meeting, led by Senator Gillibrand, comes as negotiations with Republican counterparts have stalled in recent days following fallout and industry backlash over leaked Dem proposal to regulate DeFi. Yeah, because they wanted to rip out everything that was established already by the Genius Act and what we have in the way of a bill for the market infrastructure bill. So, look, the Dems are posturing politically here, and they're causing problems all across the country. Same with the government shutdown from my house. I say this, and I'm not a Republican. I say this, and I'm an independent. I say this because it's the truth. Why do I know it's the truth? Because no matter whether you sit on the right or left side of the aisle, the truth is that the Biden administration had 4 years to get it done, and they blew it. And now they're sitting here acting like they got a voice that wants to be heard. Your voice could have been heard 4 years ago. We're getting that market infrastructure bill, ladies and gentlemen, because at my house, all of this is about preserving U.S. dollar dominance, and I do not change or shudder on that notion. And I'm pretty sure all those Democrats are using US dollars to buy their kids stuff like we are. And remember this? Remember when Howard Lutnick, the Department of Commerce head, talked about a gratis vendor for Congress?
I tell them what a gratis vendor is.
Yeah.
Because I was not going to go into the government. I was doing transition.
What is a gratis vendor?
A gratis vendor is an approved vendor for the United States of America that gives product to the government, doesn't sell it.
Okay.
So therefore, I don't have to go through the whole process of becoming a proper vendor because you're giving it to us.
Mm.
Now, what's to say that Ripple hasn't gifted a private copy of the XRP ledger to the U.S. government and the president? I mean, this isn't, look, I mean, we have other governments and central banks around the world working on the private version of the XRP ledger. We know, in fact, there are private versions of the XRP ledger out here being used today. Why couldn't the U.S. government be one of them? He's explaining how it could be so. And it may as well be, I'm pointing out to this one example, but it could be multiple protocols that are gifted a private version of those protocols for the use of the government for many different applications. Remember, the XRP ledger is a market infrastructure payment network, right?
And then if you give it to Article 2, which is the president's stuff, then the president can accept it, right? Because it's give.
Sorry, Howard, what's an example of this? Like just to make
I write some software.
You write some software.
I write some software for the Commerce Department to do a better job of XYZ. Mm-hmm. You just give it to me. And then I do QA on it, and I can take it. If you sell it to me for $1, we go into government hell.
Right, the whole rigmarole. Yeah.
Right, but if you give it to me, right, and then I set up, so I said, I'm calling it Doge. And I registered the name Doge.
You said that.
There you have it right there. So, listen, was the XRP ledger gifted to the president for U.S. government adoption? Like the same way the Interledger Protocol was gifted to the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium. I don't know the answer, but I think it's worth asking. Now, with that being said, what do we know here? We are waiting for XRP ETF approvals, but in the interim, we've seen the acquisition of Hidden Road. We've seen the acquisition of Rail Financial. We've seen the acquisition of G Treasury, opening up the doors to trillions and trillions of volume for payments and settlement. Now, what's interesting about this is all three of these are tapping into traditional finance where the rest of the money of the world is. And we're still waiting for that Ripple Bank Charter Fed Master account, which we could hear about as soon as the end of this month, maybe early November at the latest, but the government shutdown could play a role in that. And now Ripple has announced they're going to create a digital asset treasury outside of the XRP escrow that already exists. And that is spurring lots of inspiring questions. But I believe we're getting that bank charter, and Ray Charles could see where this is going. Now let's take a look at the charts. According to the measured move from descending channel, the next major target sits at 257. That's why 255 and 265 zone are now key macro resistance area. A 3-day close above 265 would be the ultimate go signal, confirming a strong bullish breakout and potential new cycles. On the flip side, we must not lose 231 on any time frame to maintain bullish continuation. So there you have that. And when we pull out, shout out to Egg Red Crypto, and then we pull out, you look here and say, XRP trading below the EMA ribbons for the first time since 2024. Take a look at it. Down below it, but look at what happened. We saw a big boom there. So are we setting the stage to see another repeat of that? I don't know the answer. But we know we shouldn't lose 231 according to Egg Rag Crypto. So if you're looking for something, we're at 247. Let's make sure we don't lose that 231. So we hopefully remain bullish on the chart all the way around. Look, it's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. Now we're going into the Freedom Zone today, and we're going to talk about $20 trillion pouring into building the fourth industrial revolution, making the United States of America the crypto innovation capital of the world. And we're going in right now. You can click the link underneath the video and join us in Patreon, X, or YouTube. All the same prices, same perks. It's less than the cost of a cup of coffee. You get all your daily videos with 0 Google ads, plus the extra content we're going to get into right now. So come on in.